Have you ever looked into the eyes of an orange cat and heard absolutely nothing? Just the gentle hum of an empty room? You aren't alone. If you spend any time on the internet, you know the reputation these ginger felines have earned. But here is the million-dollar question. Is this just a funny internet meme? Or is there actual biological proof that orange cats are naturally less intelligent than their black, white, or tabby cousins? Stay with me because the answer involves genetics, a surprising gender gap, and a psychological trick your own brain is playing on you right now. The ginger reputation. Let's be honest, the stereotype didn't come out of nowhere. If you own an orange tabby or if you've scrolled through TikTok for 5 minutes, you've seen the evidence. You see black cats looking sleek and mysterious. You see calicos acting sassy and sharp. And then you see the orange cat. He's trying to jump onto a counter, misses by 3 feet, and crashes into the trash can. He's chasing a laser pointer but runs headfirst into a closed door. He is meowing at a cupboard that is already open. This behavior has birthed a massive subculture. There are entire communities dedicated to the himbo energy of the orange cat, pure of heart but dumb of ass. But is it fair? Are we looking at a biological reality, or are we just bullying these citrus-colored cuties? To understand if they are actually dumb, we first have to understand what makes them orange. And believe it or not, the science of their coat color might actually hold the key to their personality. The genetics of Derp. Here is where it gets interesting. The color orange in cats comes from a specific pigment called pheomelanin, which is the same pigment that gives humans red hair. In the world of genetics, the gene responsible for the orange coat is sex-linked. It resides on the X chromosome. Because of how these chromosomes work, the genetic roll of the dice plays out differently for males and females. Since a male cat only has one X chromosome, if he carries the orange gene, he will be orange. A female cat needs the gene on both X chromosomes to be fully orange. Why does this matter? It means that roughly 80% of all orange cats are male. This is a massive statistic. When you are laughing at a video of an orange cat doing something incredibly foolish, you are, statistically speaking, almost always laughing at a boy cat. And this brings us to a controversial but compelling theory. Maybe orange cats aren't dumb because they are orange. Maybe they seem dumb because they are mostly teenage boys. The male cat phenomenon. If you have ever observed the difference between male and female cats, you know they operate differently. Female cats, generally speaking, are the hunters. They are often more cautious, more precise, and more focused on survival, especially if they have maternal instincts kicking in. Male cats, particularly neuter tomcats, often drift into a different lifestyle. They tend to be friendlier, more affectionate, and yes, a little bit goofier. They are less survival of the fittest and more love me and feed me. So when we ask why are orange cats so dumb, we might actually be asking why are male cats so goofy? The sample size is skewed. We are comparing a population that is overwhelmingly male against populations of other colors that have a 50-50 gender split. But wait, because the rabbit hole goes deeper. There is a scientific hypothesis that suggests the gene for coat color and the gene for dopamine regulation might be connected. The Dopamine Connection. There is a theory floating around the scientific community regarding something called the agouti gene and how pigment interacts with brain development. Melanin, the substance that determines color, shares a similar chemical synthesis pathway with dopamine, the neurotransmitter associated with pleasure, reward, and risk-taking. Some researchers suggest that the chemical cocktail required to create that bright ginger coat might also result in a cat that has a different baseline for dopamine. What does high dopamine look like in behavior? It looks like boldness. It looks like risk-taking. It looks like a lack of fear. And this is the crucial distinction. Is the orange cat stupid because he tried to jump from the roof to a tree branch and missed? Or is he just insanely confident? A smart cat might look at that jump, calculate the physics, realize the risk is too high, and walk away. That cat looks intelligent. The orange cat might look at that jump, feel a surge of dopamine-fueled optimism, and launch himself into the air without a second thought. The Velcro personality. Let's talk about affection. If you look at surveys conducted by animal shelters and veterinarians, orange tabbies consistently rank as some of the friendliest cats. They are often described as Velcro cats. They want to be on your lap, on your keyboard, or sleeping on your face. This extreme friendliness can often be mistaken for stupidity. A wary, intelligent predator hides when a stranger enters the house. An orange cat might roll over and expose his belly to a complete stranger 5 seconds after meeting them. From a survival standpoint, that is a terrible idea. In the wild, that cat gets eaten. But in a domestic setting, that cat gets extra treats. So, who is the real genius here? The aloof genius hiding under the bed, or the dumb orange cat who has manipulated the humans into giving him a second dinner just by purring and bumping his head against their leg? This friendliness leads to more human interaction, which leads to more opportunities for us to film them being silly. The confirmation bias trap. We have to talk about psychology. Not the cat's psychology, but yours. It's called confirmation bias. Because the internet has told you that orange cats are chaotic and dim-witted, you are actively looking for evidence to support that theory. When a black cat runs into a wall, you might think, oh, he slipped. You might not even register it. But when an orange cat runs into a wall, your brain immediately lights up and says, aha! The one orange brain cell strikes again. We filter out the moments where orange cats are acting normal. We ignore the orange cats that are solving puzzle feeders or opening doors. We only remember the moments that fit the narrative. We are curating our own reality where ginger cats are the clowns of the species. However, even if we admit that bias plays a role, we can't ignore the pop culture icons that started it all. Long before TikTok, there was a specific fat cat who set the standard for orange behavior. The Garfield Effect. We cannot discuss the intelligence of orange cats without paying homage to the grandfather of ginger laziness, Garfield. Created in the late 70s, Garfield wasn't necessarily dumb, but he was goofy, lazy, gluttonous, and clumsy. He hated Mondays and loved lasagna. Then there was Heathcliff. Then there was Puss in Boots from Shrek, who admittedly is a capable warrior, but uses his cute eyes as a weapon, reinforcing the idea that orange cats survive on charm rather than wit. These cultural icons primed us. Generations of people grew up seeing orange cats as the comic relief. We don't cast orange cats as the villains or the mystical guides, we cast them as the sidekicks. This cultural programming is hard to break. It shapes how we interpret their facial expressions. When an orange cat stares at you, you don't think he's contemplating the secrets of the universe. You think he's waiting for the DVD screensaver logo in his brain to hit the corner of the screen. The risk takers of the feline world. There was actually a study conducted regarding the perception of cat personality based on color. The study found that people overwhelmingly perceived orange cats as friendlier, but also more chaotic. But here's a counterpoint that suggests they might actually be smarter than we think in a very specific way. Social intelligence. If intelligence is defined by the ability to solve a math problem, cats fail. If intelligence is defined by the ability to survive in the wild, the orange cat's bright coat makes him a terrible hunter because he has no camouflage. He sticks out like a traffic cone in a forest. Because they lack camouflage, orange cats may have had to adapt a different survival strategy: extreme social bonding. They couldn't rely on being invisible, so they relied on being irresistible. They learned to vocalize more. Orange cats are notoriously chatty. They chirp and trill and meow more than many other breeds. This vocalization is a direct attempt to communicate with humans. Is it dumb to yell at your owner until they fill the bowl, or is it a highly effective management strategy? The exception to the rule. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, but wait, my orange cat is a genius. He knows tricks, he fetches, he opens doors. Yes, smart orange cats exist. They're the outliers. They're the ones who have hoarded the brain cells. But even the smartest orange cat usually has moments. You know the moment. The pupils dilate until the eyes are entirely black, the ears go back, the tail starts to twitch, the zombies take over, and suddenly your Einstein turns into a pinball bouncing off every surface in the living room at 3 a.m. Even the smart ones can't escape their biology. That high-energy, high-risk drive is always lurking just beneath the surface. So, are they actually dumb? We have looked at the genetics, the gender bias, the dopamine levels, and our own psychological biases. So what is the final verdict? Are orange cats dumb? The scientific answer is no. There is no study that proves orange cats have smaller brains or lower cognitive function than other cats. But the fun answer? The answer that feels true in our hearts? They are definitely special. They are operating on a different frequency. While other cats are playing chess, orange cats are playing Candyland and eating the pieces. They possess a unique combination of high confidence, high friendliness, and low impulse control. This trifecta creates the perfect storm for hilarious failure. They aren't stupid, they are just incredibly enthusiastic about bad ideas.